These 4 heads are all taking part in the leadership program for serving head teachers, the LPSH. The group first came together during a 3-day residential, and over the next few weeks we'll follow them as they probe and question each other about leadership.
My name's Sophie Parker. I'm the head teacher of Ashford Park Primary School.
I'm Sally Garrett, head teacher at the 7/8 Centre.
My name is James Stanford. I'm head teacher at Milton-on-Stour Primary School.
My name is Caroline Wilkins. I'm head teacher at Ramvilles Junior School.
Class 4.
Through a series of school visits, we'll examine the issues that each head is grappling with and what they need to do to become better leaders.
My issue has been team building and reducing the amount of paperwork.
My main focus was looking at team commitment within the staff.
Making sure that there is clarity of vision.
And my biggest challenge is turning a good school into an outstanding one.
Ramvilles Junior School near Portsmouth is about to receive some special guests. Sally, James and Sophie are making their first visit to the school.
Hello. Hello. Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. Hello. Come on in.
Thank you.
The purpose of today's visit is to see how well Caroline is addressing her leadership issues.
It's a successful school. It needs to be better. I don't think we're not complacent in that. We want to be an excellent school. So it's about how do you get from good to excellent? How do you keep people moving on that continuum? I'm very driven. I know what I want, and I am determined to get it. And that can be a weakness as well. I'm very focused. I've got a lot of energy and I've got a lot of enthusiasm, and I mostly find that I am able to take people with me by sharing my thinking, by getting them involved, by listening to what they say and making sure their ideas are included.
Oh, stop there. Brilliant. Give yourself a clap. So what we have learned so far, where would face be?
As part of the LPSH programme, the staffs in all 4 schools were given a questionnaire about their heads' leadership styles. The feedback from this questionnaire has formed the basis for discussion within the group.
I remember on the questionnaire, you get all your ticks in boxes, your blobs in boxes, and on one side there was somebody whose blobs were not in line with all the others. And when I sat with my co-coaching group to go through that data, I said, look at this person, you know, this person doesn't agree with anything I'm doing. And I was quite anxious and worked out, who is this person, needed to know. And one of my group said, what makes you think it's one person? Maybe in everything you do, there's someone who doesn't quite get it. And that really made me think, crumbs, have I left someone behind in everything?
It's such an interesting thing. Again, we debated this hotly at the
And it's made me very much more aware of getting people on board before we start something new. And actually the need to develop relationships with those people who maybe feel I don't understand them. It's something we've struggled with. We started off with a life coach actually coming into the school, and she came in and did an inset day first of all, and tried to get people into the thinking of what is work-life balance.
This visit is Caroline's first opportunity to show her colleagues how she leads the school.
I've mainly used the coaching model of leadership to help me work alongside people, but not to do the work for them, to help them to see what they're doing and why they're doing it, and get them to be proactive.
So would that make sense? There's like potential.
Thanks for this tour this morning, really enjoyed it. Lots of lovely space and displays. When we went reflecting back on what we were talking about in October, you were working with all your staff around team building and improving relationships. What's worked and what have you done?
Well, there are 2 parts to the team building thing, really. The part of it was about me building relationships with the staff and getting to know some people better, and actually developing relationships between people and being more visible around the school. And the other part has been to do with the life coaching and the work-life balance and actually developing the relationships between people. Morning, Mrs. Hurst. How are you? Do you want to come on through? There's quite a few of us.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've tried to make more effort to get out into classrooms in the morning, go around and see the staff, be in classrooms and so on. But also get into the staff room at lunchtime and just sit with people that I wouldn't normally have a chance to sit with and catch up, and finding out what's going on in people's lives outside school as well.
Fantastic. What a great start.
Linked to that, you talked before about trying to be outside when the parents and children were arriving, and if you had that same sort of feedback from the parents.
I'm not actually brilliant at getting out still first thing in the morning. That's something I thought would make a big difference, and I'm not brilliant at it because I actually want to get round to the classrooms and see the teachers and make sure that, you know, to do the thermometer check to make sure that everybody's okay for the day.
So you're investing more of your own time in going around the classes. Is there anything you're having to find other time to do in here?
Yes, the big pile of paperwork in the corner. I mean, that when I started this, well, we drew a shield, didn't we, of ourselves, and I drew a picture of myself stuck behind a desk with the door closed and this big mountain of paperwork, and I felt that I could never leave this door, even though the staff room was literally just outside, because I had all this work that I was responsible for doing and accountable for it all. And I think giving myself permission to get out of here and say, actually, I'm going to leave that now because the next 20 minutes or the next hour is going to be really important.
So changed it well, and you've enjoyed it.
Yeah. You talked earlier on about the pace, didn't you, and the pace of change. Is that something you would reflect on and think about?
Yes, definitely.
Next time.
I'm a very driven person myself, and so I make the assumption that everyone else is driven as well and will happily drive alongside me at quite a pace. And I think what I've recognised is that we have to work as a team and move at a team pace and take everybody with us. I'm actually a person who likes to be liked, and I hadn't realised that until we did this training, until we really sort of unpicked the iceberg issues. I didn't know that about myself and how important it was. But now I know that. Sometimes I have to say, right, Caroline, you're going to feel uncomfortable now, but you're going to do it. You know, a staff meeting that we had only yesterday, I went in and said, this is it, this is how it's got to be, which I didn't want to do, but I realised that I had to do it. And going around talking to people afterwards, how did that feel? You know, how did it help? And people were very positive. It was really good. I felt so much better after that. Some of the questions that I have been asked have really made me think, I'm not like that, am I like that? Did I really say that? Really, for a long time, threw me into a period of sort of seriously questioning the way I work. And it has changed the way I work and the way I think. What we've learnt the most has taken place with a door closed, where we've really opened up to each other. We set our ground rules first, you know, the honesty, the openness and so on, but it's been really important to be able to trust those people. And there's no point having a co-coaching group if you're all going to sit politely and skirt around the issues that are actually the ones that need tackling.
A few miles away, Sally's head teacher of the Sevenoaks Centre. It caters for children who are unable to attend mainstream education for medical reasons.
Sevenoaks Centre in Portsmouth works with children and young people through all the key stages. So we start with a reception child right through to some post-16 girls in particular with our teenage parents, and the idea is to provide continuity and progression with their education whilst they are unable to attend their mainstream school.
Where could you use a GPS system? At C. At C, yeah, excellent.
So as far as possible we would mimic what would be going on in mainstream education, but we also try and add in the extras where perhaps young people have missed things or recognising that they do have some more social and emotional needs, so we will teach specifically in that area.
It's not as easy as that though, is it, just giving up on the old smoking? Are any of our people here who smoke happy to actually sort of share and say,
I gave up when I was pregnant.
Yeah, you gave up when I was pregnant.
Since Sally started the LPSH programme, there have been a lot of changes in her professional role.
By the end of this academic year, the Sevenoaks Centre will be closed as it currently functions and then reopened under a federation or broader service, which means for all the leadership team, we will have the opportunity to reapply for other leadership jobs, and staff currently are going through a job matching process.
With the impending changes, Sally has found that clarity of vision has been essential, especially in light of the responses she has received from the staff questionnaire.
The range of staff's responses were quite broad in how they perceived me, and obviously not knowing who'd responded which way, it was hard to analyse further, but it has made me focus on making sure the whole team, working as a team, work well together, and I'm given some clarity about where we're going.
Teamwork is something that Sophie is also keen to improve. There are over 50 members of staff and some 400 children on roll at Ashford Park Primary School in Middlesex.
For me, I think I find the most challenging is dealing with the amount of paperwork and the demands on me personally. I have a very large staff and they all want a piece of me, and I obviously have to be able to give them that time, and also the children. We have a lot of children in school, to be able to give them the time that they need.
Today, the co-coaching group have come together for a first-time visit to the school. Sophie starts the day with a tour.
This is year 4. How many are in this classroom?
There are 30 in the classroom, including then obviously in the afternoons it goes up to 33 because the children from the Acorn Centre come through.
Sophie has found that the course has made her question her leadership style.
Coaching I've been very comfortable with, and I tend to use that quite a lot. After using LPSH, I recognised that I was very much using that in situations which weren't the best situations to be using it. For example, when confronting poor performance, I tended to lapse into using co-coaching because I was obviously comfortable with it, and then I didn't. I ended up rescuing and acting as the carer rather than providing the staff with the support to be able to move on.
Would you like to come and look at Year 1 class now? Yeah, come this way.
One of the targets that Sophie has set herself is to move away from the confines of her office and out into the classroom.
It's gone well, but I've had my box under my desk, and any paperwork that isn't immediate I've managed to throw in the box and not dealt with, unless somebody's come back to me within 3 months. If they haven't, it's gone in the bin. And then I deliberately have been planning times in my diary where I come out to year groups and I'll just come and sit in the class and work with the children.
So what have been the benefits?
I think the benefits really, one of the points of doing it was moving away from the bureaucracy, but also the sort of team building and staff feeling proud to be working here. So it's given me the opportunity to be able to feed back informally to staff on positive things I've seen going on. Absolutely, and with meaning, instead of having to sort of find a reason. The reasons have been there because I've been in there working in the classrooms with them.
With the questionnaire feedback, I was pleasantly and positively surprised around my leadership styles and how that matched with my colleagues who filled that in for me. There were a couple of areas that did surprise me, and one was about responsibility. Was I giving them too much responsibility and informing them on too much that was going on? And the other was around team commitment. And colleagues not feeling proud about working in school, and not sort of wanting to, obviously they didn't feel that I was demonstrating enough support for them as teams and pride within the school.
Okay, we've had a really lovely morning, beautiful displays around the classrooms, and the atmosphere of learning was fabulous, Sophie. Reflecting back on your sort of personal development needs, what have you learned?
I've learnt quite a deal about leadership styles. I'm more aware now of leadership styles I use, and the leadership styles I was obviously very comfortable with.